watching the It's Her Time podcast with Cody and Jess. Welcome back to the It's Her Time podcast. My name is Cody Sanders, and I'm a holistic health practitioner and a functional nutritionist and the host of the show. And I'm excited because today we're going to tackle a topic that so many of you are feeling so frustrated with. We're going to talk about how you can treat hormonal acne naturally. And I'm going to share with you all the things to try before birth control. Now, if you make an appointment to see your doctor about just hormonal acne, chances are that you'll leave with a prescription for birth control. Now, hormonal birth control is a go-to for hormonal acne, but the truth is that it comes with its own set of side effects and it doesn't always work. I often get asked from women wanting to know how to treat hormonal acne naturally without birth control because so many people struggle with hormonal acne and they want to know what their options are, and they're not always given options when they go see a doctor. And others are aiming to try to become maybe pregnant, making it so that birth control for acne treatment is no longer an option. So if you're looking for hormonal acne solutions without birth control, there are natural solutions that I will be sharing with you in this episode. I'm going to explain what you can do to address hormonal acne naturally, including just some simple diet changes, supplementation, skincare, and a lot more. But before we go into this episode, let's do a Mixers Girls Say. All right, so we asked you on our social media, what are some of your biggest period woes? And I think that there were so many answers because so many of us suffer in every single month when it's that time of the month with lots of different symptoms that can really hold us back. But let's just share and let us all relate together. So the first person says that they just always feel so tired, they have low motivation, and they get migraines. Now, these are extremely common symptoms that a lot of women experience because remember, symptoms are simply our body's way of trying to tell us that we're dealing with hormonal imbalance. And so it can be really frustrating when you feel like you have no energy, you can't just function the way that you normally are used to. And I don't know about you, but if you've never had a migraine, just know that it's the worst thing ever. It really, really knocks you down, puts you in bed. You don't want light. You don't want to be around people. You really can't get comfortable. So it's good though, positive thing to know that these symptoms, these debilitating symptoms actually can go away. And they don't have to be something that you suffer with every single month. Okay, this girl, she says that I cramped till I threw up and she had to run off the volleyball court mid-game. Now, how many of you have been there where you are participating in a sport or maybe you're at work or you are, I don't know, I just feel like I've had those moments where you try to suck it up. You try to be that girl that can do anything, anytime, but people don't even have a clue like how much pain you're in and how much you're suffering and how hard it is to actually just even show up at certain things. But then to have to perform, I feel for this girl. I know my daughter, this is one of the things that motivated me a lot to try to come up with a solution and create what's now called Her Time, was that she was an athlete. She was a volleyball player. She's a dancer, and she would have the same type of thing where she'd literally be in the fetal position on the floor and then just throwing up and wanting to lay down by the toilet. And, that's just, no one should ever feel like that. It's often said, and I don't mean this to be rude, but if this was a boy or a man having these kinds of this level of symptoms, they would go to the hospital. But for some reason, as girls, we just think this is just supposed to be how it is. And so we just, like I said, try to suck it up and we're tough. And it's amazing what we can suck up and try to get through. But the good news, again, is that we don't have to. All right. This girl says that since getting a cup and using mixers, great. It doesn't hold her back. Her period doesn't hold her back. That's so great. First of all, I do want to mention using menstrual cups. I know that many of you have gotten on the bandwagon and you've started using menstrual cups, and they're such a great option. I am a big believer that this is a great option for most women. They do come in different sizes because obviously we're all built a little bit differently. I don't know if you know that Mixers actually has a menstrual cup that's available, and it comes in 2 different sizes, and it is free of all disrupting chemicals that can disrupt our hormone balance. Not all menstrual cups are created like that. So you do want to make sure that you educate yourself and know what these cups are made out of, because anything going in our body is going to have an influence on our hormone imbalance or hormone balance. And so we want to be really careful with that. But what I've noticed since using a cup is, first of all, it's just so much more convenient. You can leave it in a lot longer than you can, say, a tampon. It doesn't feel messy like it would if you're using a pad. It's something that you can swim with. You can be a little bit more active if you wanted to. And what has been shown in a lot of studies is that using a cup has actually been very helpful in helping to reduce cramping and shortening period length. So there's a lot of benefits to using a cup. If you haven't tried one yet, I recommend trying the Mixer's menstrual cup, because it's a game changer. And we've designed it to be as convenient and less messy, if you've used one, you know what I mean, as possible. I love mine, so give it a go. And then also obviously using Mixer's products, her time, addressing the main root cause of hormone imbalance and all of these symptoms that we suffer with, giving the body the nutrients that it needs, because that nutrient deficiency is what is often the cause. So we're going to get into all of that a little bit more in today's episode. Let's do one more. This woman says that she definitely has noticed that she is much more injury prone while on your period. Did you know that there's some truth to that? And it's not something that's talked a lot about. I've had fun, I would say, talking with a bunch of different collegiate coaches that are working with women in cross country or soccer coaches and things like that, and helping them to understand how to train their athletes and work out their athletes according to their monthly cycle. Because as our monthly cycle is going on, as you know, our hormones fluctuate up and down. And oftentimes, estrogen, when it is low, that is what causes us to be a little bit more injury prone. So it's really important to, we can do a whole episode possibly on this. It's really interesting, but it's good to be aware of that. Not only is our hormonal fluctuation going to affect our energy and our power and our motivation and all that, but it also actually influences whether or not we are going to be safe from injury or not. So just something interesting to consider. Anyways, thank you so much. We love it when you girls share your thoughts and your experiences, because we can all relate. And it's really interesting and fun to hear what some of your thoughts are.
Mixers is a company made for women by women. Each of our products have been carefully and lovingly crafted to support you in all stages of your life, providing you with the optimal health you deserve. Each ingredient we handpick is 100% all natural, backed by science, and chosen specifically to better your life physically, mentally, and hormonally. Each product empowers your body to take charge of its monthly hormonal shift and flows, empowering you to live life to the fullest. Let Mixers take care of your needs from sunup to sundown, and you take care of the rest. Check us out at mixers.com, Mixhers.
Okay, so let's talk about why I don't recommend most women use birth control for hormonal acne. Now, I want to start this by saying that if you are already on the pill, or you want to continue to take it while adding some natural ways to support acne, that is absolutely a valid choice. But I also want to make sure each person understands why birth control shouldn't necessarily be the first answer to everyone's acne, so you can make an informed decision based on learning the reason why the acne is actually occurring in the first place, as we'd call the root cause. Okay. Now, it is a big frustration. I talk about it a lot on this podcast, but too many doctors prescribe the pill to millions of people without discussing potential side effects like nutrient depletion and inflammation and an increased risk of blood clots, and also the effects that birth control can have on our mood. So a lot of mood symptoms are associated. There's also some concerning data coming out on what birth control does to a developing brain when it is offered to teenagers, including there's a great doctor out there named Dr. Sarah Hill. So if you're familiar with her, she has raised a lot of concern about this. Now, birth control can disrupt the natural balance of our microbiome, which is the bacteria that's happily living in our gut. There's a close connection between gut and skin health, so much so that I make gut health a priority when working with anyone dealing with acne. Now, a healthy gut is vital for healthy hormone balance, and an imbalanced gut can significantly contribute to hormonal acne. Your gut is one of the ways your body actually clears hormones you no longer need. And with it being the home of your immune system, it can be where inflammation can stem from. In addition to dietary recommendations that I make for acne, I also highly recommend adding Her Digest to your daily routine because it can help with seeding the gut with beneficial organisms and feeding what grows there with healthy prebiotics. Now, when it comes to the pill, know that it can mask the hormone related conditions that contribute to acne. So, as soon as you stop taking it, boom, your acne comes back with a vengeance, possibly even worse than it was before. But more concerning than acne, there are conditions that can lead to diabetes and infertility and heart disease, to which acne is only an early sign of. So I want to talk now a little bit more about how to understand the relationship between your hormones and acne. Most people make the connection that acne is closely tied to hormones, but let's look at why it happens. While acne is multifactorial and can include overgrowth of bacteria or, like we talked about, inflammation, hormones are common culprits. Now, overproduction of sebum, which is an oily, waxy substance made by your skin to protect the surface, can cause acne by clogging pores and then worsening skin inflammation. Your hormones, especially androgens like testosterone, ramp up oil and sebum production. So when hormones are out of balance, or if you have things like conditions like polycystic ovarian syndrome or PCOS, characterized by higher androgen production, you have the perfect scenario for hormonal acne. Now, a well-meaning care provider may give you birth control to just suppress androgen production, but it's like putting a Band-Aid on the problem. The pill can bring a very welcomed acne relief for some people. I get it. But we should try to understand what causes the acne first by doing a thorough exam and by doing some testing. Once you're on the pill, we cannot accurately test your hormones like androgens because the pill actually masks symptoms of androgen excess. It can interfere with the diagnosis of things like PCOS. Now, PCOS is a complex metabolic and hormone issue that, if it's left untreated, can actually lead to, like what I talked about before, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, depression, and a lot of other issues. Now, while the pill can help the androgen piece of the puzzle, it's not the only option and should be offered after a diagnosis is made. But there are other ways to manage hormonal acne without birth control, and you deserve to learn about them in order to make the best decision for you. Now, let's talk about the natural ways that we women can take care of our skin for hormonal acne. One of the most important things that we can do to clear skin is to choose just a gentle skincare that is right for our skin and that is free of some of those hormone disrupting chemicals. Many conventional products are loaded with endocrine disrupting chemicals. EDCs is what they're sometimes called. And these are hormone disruptors. And they also, a lot of these cleansers have other harsh chemicals that could further contribute to hormone imbalances and also contribute to hormonal acne. So check your skincare products, including makeup that you put on your face, for ingredients that are known endocrine disruptors by I like to go to a trusted app like EWG Healthy Living. It's a great way that you can look up and you can put in whatever product that you're, wondering about, or you can actually put in specific ingredients and it can give you a rating system on how toxic it is or not. And it helps you to make an educated decision. All right. Now, while scrubbing your skin aggressively with rough exfoliators may seem like the answer, it actually can damage the skin barrier and it can make inflammation so much worse. So instead, opt for a simple skincare routine that includes a cleanser and a toner and a moisturizer and maybe a spot treatment. Be sure to cleanse your face twice daily, in the morning and then at night before you go to bed, and then choose a natural cleanser that won't strip your skin of its natural oils. I know it seems tempting to do that, but we want to keep those natural oils in place because they're protective. All right. The other thing I would recommend is that you can follow up with a light, non-comedogenic moisturizer, which just means that it won't clog your pores. For spot treatment, there are some over-the-counter tea tree oil products that are available. And I love tea tree. Tea tree oil products are a natural plant oil with anti-inflammatory properties that can actually help clear up spots, and they can help speed up the healing process. Now, pure tea tree oil is strong on its own, so I don't recommend applying it directly to the skin. Another great tip is that you should try to change your pillowcase at least weekly. And this can help with preventing like those clogged pores. All right, let's talk about retinoids for acne, because retinoids are another choice for hormonal acne. They are derived from vitamin A, and what they can do is they help normalize that skin cell turnover and help to unclog pores. They also have anti-inflammatory properties to help with acne like redness and swelling. So those are some of the skincare tips that I've got. Now let's talk a little bit more about how we can work from the inside out, to how we can adjust our diet for hormonal acne. Because there's no one size fits all diet for hormonal acne, but there are some general guidelines that might help. The dietary changes that I suggest focus on eating foods that will decrease inflammation in your body and dialing back foods that could also be contributors and also have a cause in increasing androgens. There's what's known as the glycemic index. I'm sure many of you have heard of it. It's a really great tool to refer to. Now, high glycemic foods break down quickly into sugar and cause a spike in your blood sugar and in your insulin. And insulin is the hormone that helps bring your blood sugar back to normal. But it can also increase the production of hormones that can contribute to acne, including androgens and insulin-like growth factor 1, which is also known as IGF-1. Now, IGF-1 also increases androgen production and is linked to severe acne and inflammation. So by eating high glycemic foods, you may be increasing the hormonal precursors for acne. The other thing that's good to know about is that milk products, but not necessarily yogurt or cheese for some reason, that milk products, though, also increase IGF-1. So you may want to limit or just avoid these if you have hormonal acne. Now, on the other hand, beautifully colorful and nourishing foods containing anti-inflammatory phytonutrients and omega-3 fatty acids, they help decrease inflammation in your body. And fiber-rich carbohydrates can also help to regulate your blood sugar and insulin levels and then regulate hormone balance. And gut healing foods are also helpful in reducing inflammation and keeping your microbiome healthy and really happy. So I would say that you should focus on some of these diet tips for hormonal acne. Diet can be a powerful tool when you're dealing with hormonal acne. And if you want to just explore this further, then you can try what's known as an elimination diet, but as a start, but you can experiment with some of these following tips that I'm going to share with you today. So I would say limit all dairy to see if it makes a difference for your hormonal acne. You can test yogurt and cheese after a few weeks, since these usually are better tolerated. The other thing is, like we talked about, is to reduce or even eliminate those high glycemic foods like sugar and white flour and white rice and processed types of carbohydrates. Really focus on getting the majority of the food that you're eating as anti-inflammatory foods like wild-caught salmon and olive oil and avocados, such great healthy fats and so good for our skin. And also consider adding maybe a cup of green tea each day. Now, we have green tea in Her Boost, and we also have a little bit of it in our Her Guard. So you'll get some of those benefits by drinking some of those products. Also, I would encourage you to increase your gut healing foods. Now, what do I mean by that? One of my favorite types of foods is bone broth. And I also love including fermented vegetables in my diet. You want to aim for at least a quarter cup of fermented foods every single day. The other thing is you want to just add those fiber-rich fruits and vegetables and things like nuts and seeds and legumes and whole grains as tolerated to your meals. It's going to make a big difference. Now, This is something we need to think about when it's time to consider vitamins or supplements for hormonal acne, because some key nutrients can help hormonal acne by reducing inflammation, balancing hormones, and supporting natural detoxification. Usually, I recommend using a combination of nutrients to address the different factors that can contribute to hormonal acne. Now, I've combined these powerful nutrients in our Her Time formula because I know acne is one of the most common PMS symptoms that most of you women have complained about. So I made sure to make sure that everything that we're putting in our Her Time formula is going to help support and reduce that as well for you. Now, taking supplements won't work without other lifestyle and diet changes. We wish it would, but it is not a magic bullet. It has to be in combination. It supplements our healthy lifestyle. But supplements can be a part of our toolbox. Now, you can find many of these nutrients that I've been talking about in our food, but sometimes we need more than what we get from our diet alone. So if you've been trying everything diet-wise, and I know I've been there too, it may be time to bring in some supplemental support. Supplements to support healthy hormone balance could help with hormonal acne by reducing the androgen production that we talked about, or by providing your body the necessary nutrients it uses in that detoxification process, which is so important, and by removing excess hormones. Now, some examples include nutrients that come from cruciferous veggies, like I love, like kale and broccoli and cabbage, like we have in our Her Greens, or myoinositol, which is found in Her Power, because there's a lot of studies that show how it can support healthy blood sugar balance. These nutrients are key for doing that. Also, supplements that target your gut health can also be very helpful. Probiotics are the healthy bacteria that live in our gut and help with digestion. And there are certain strains that have been found to help with hormonal acne. Now, gut diversity is key, which is why diet can be so helpful. And Her Digest can then offer some additional support because it's full of probiotics. Another nutrient to consider is zinc. There has been a lot of research done on its efficacy for hormonal acne. It's found in HerGuard and it's found in Her Multi. Now, zinc is an essential mineral for skin health, and studies show that it can help decrease inflammation and increase collagen synthesis, which supports healing. There's lots of other lifestyle changes that can also help with hormonal acne. Now, in addition to diet and supplements, examining your other lifestyle choices can also be helpful for your acne. So let's talk about stress, because it wouldn't be an episode without talking about stress and how it impacts our hormone balance. It plays a big role. Stress, as you know, can increase our blood sugar, or maybe you didn't know that. So your body then releases insulin and bumps up your androgen production, like we talked a little earlier about. So to help manage stress, we need to think about adding relaxation techniques, things like meditation and yoga and deep breathing exercises. And we can also try taking adaptogenic herbs. I love ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is found in Her Nightly. Ashwagandha can help our body be better able to deal with stress, which is awesome. The other thing about Her Nightly that's so helpful is that when it comes to hormonal acne, sleep is really a non-negotiable. Sleep is critical for our overall health, and hormonal acne is no exception. When we don't get enough sleep, then our stress hormone the levels of cortisol increase, leading then also to higher insulin levels and then inflammation. So to help improve our sleep, what we want to do is we want to establish a really regular sleep schedule if possible. And we want to avoid screens before bedtime and create a really relaxing bedtime routine. The other thing that's really important to consider is how we exercise, and we want to exercise in the right way. So exercise is a really great way to manage stress and support our overall health, but it's crucial to exercise the right way, as we've learned so much about. Too much high-intensity exercise can actually increase our stress hormone, cortisol, and bring those levels up. So it's important to find a good balance. Now, if you like high intensity activities, then what I recommend is mixing in exercises, though, like with walking and yoga, or maybe some light weightlifting, just to keep your hormones in check. Mix it up a little bit. Now, I wanted to go through some of the most asked questions that you girls send in. I always wish that I had time to answer every single one of you individually, but that's what these episodes are all about. That's why I do this podcast, is because I want to be able to address these questions that you have and be a trusted source for you. So let's go through some of these frequently asked questions about treating hormonal acne naturally. So let's go into this question. It says, is birth control the only treatment for hormonal acne? This is like a quiz. Were you listening? Hormonal birth control absolutely is not the only treatment for hormonal acne, but it is commonly prescribed because it can suppress testosterone effectively. There's other pharmaceutical options that also include things like antibiotics, like tetracycline, spironolactone, and Retin-A, and other topical treatments are available as well. There are also many other options for resolving hormonal acne, including, like I talked about, diet and supplements and lifestyle changes. These are some of the best medicine out there. If you want to try natural acne approaches, you have many other options. You can use birth control in combination with many of these too. Now, another question that comes in is actually, what is it that triggers hormonal acne? Now, there are many possible triggers for hormonal acne, including, like we've talked about, stress, poor sleep, certain foods. And so identifying your individual triggers can be helpful for managing your hormonal acne. Sometimes this means working with a professional to help you figure out the best plan, though, for you. Another question that came in is, how do you know if your acne is hormonal? Because not all acne is hormonal, although most of it is. There are a few ways to tell if your acne is hormonal. So now, while hormonal acne can be constantly present on your face, there may be times in your cycle where it flares up or it gets worse. This is a telltale sign. Hormonal acne is typically found on the lower part of the face, including the jawline and the chin and maybe around the mouth. It also is often triggered by hormonal changes during puberty or when you're pregnant, or maybe you're in perimenopause or menopause even. Who knew that we would get acne at this age, right? If you're experiencing any of these changes, it's really worth considering hormonal acne as the possible cause. Most likely it is linked to our hormones. Another frequently asked question is, how can I balance my hormones to stop acne? Now, balancing hormones takes a root cause approach, which means examining all the potential factors contributing to hormonal acne. So simple diet changes, supplements, or identifying and then managing stress are critical for hormonal balance. Those are all of the main root causes of hormonal imbalance. Another question that gets asked a lot is, what gets rid of hormonal acne fast? I know we want those fast fixes, right? Now, like I said before, there is no one size fits all answer to this question, as the best way to get rid of hormonal acne depends on what your individual underlying cause is. However, some simple lifestyle changes can make hormonal acne more manageable, including, again, diet changes, supplementation, stress management, and exercise. Also, pay attention to your skincare routine because sometimes using the wrong products can actually make your hormonal acne worse. So sometimes just switching products and routines can make a big difference. Hydrocolloid patches can also work overnight to help reduce and eliminate a zit that comes on unexpectedly. Another thing that I've done before too is take an apple cider vinegar and put that on a little cotton ball and put that on a little forming zit, and that seems to do wonders as well. All right, now, does hormonal acne ever go away? Yes, but it can take time. Making these lifestyle changes that we've been talking about and using the right skincare products can really help improve hormonal acne, but results don't always happen overnight. And sometimes it takes some trial and some error. So patience and consistency are essential for treating hormonal acne, but it's absolutely worth it. So let's go through some of the key takeaways of today's episode, just so that if you were taking notes, you can make sure that you've got all of the right notes in your written down. Okay. So hormonal acne is a common type of acne triggered by excessive androgens, and it's very linked to inflammation. So we want to reduce that. Birth control is not the only approach for hormonal acne, but it is commonly used, but not without side effects. So make sure you learn all about those side effects. Natural options for hormonal acne include diet, supplementation, and lifestyle changes. The other thing is hormonal acne can be successfully treated naturally, but it can take patience and consistency to see results, like anything, right? All right. So if you're struggling with hormonal acne, just remember that you're not alone. There are many approaches and strategies available. And I hope that the information that was shared today in this episode was helpful for you. So put some of these tips and tricks to work and know that you are addressing hormonal acne using a root cause approach, which is the most effective way to heal hormonal acne, not just mask it. So thank you again so much for tuning into the It's Her Time podcast. Will you girls do me a favor and take a quick second to just give this episode either a thumbs up if you're watching us on YouTube or a 5-star review if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform? Because we appreciate it so much. It helps this podcast to grow. And also when you share these episodes with the girls in your life, not only does it help the ones that you share it with, the ones that you love, it also helps this podcast community to grow. And we love our community. So we're here for each other, and I hope you feel that. All right, girls, I look forward to meeting back again next week for another fun episode. We release new episodes every single Tuesday. Make sure you have subscribed so you never miss an episode. Until then, have a very happy and healthy week. Bye.